This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.
And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Basil Lemba.
Welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club show. My name is Basil Lemba and I will be your host. The Fairfax Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring to you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your networking skills and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote, and today's quote is, "Doing nothing for others is the undoing of ourselves." And that is from Horace Mann. With us today in the studio, we have somebody representing a 55 years nonprofit organization called Linden Resources. They have been helping people with disabilities for the last 55 years. To tell us more about that and to celebrate their anniversary today, we have invited the Senior VP, Lisa Donovan. Hello, Lisa.
Hi there. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
My pleasure. You told me I have a lot of things happening today. This one is about to be the very best one for the day.
Very good. Ready to cap it off.
Okay, let me ask you this. How do you first hear about Linden Resources?
Well, it's interesting because I have just recently joined Linden in January. I actually was given an opportunity as a consultant for a couple months last fall, and after I did my couple months of consulting, was asked if I would be interested in joining the executive team. Okay. And so in January I took over as a senior business development officer for Linden. My responsibility is to find opportunities and contracts and build partnerships to help find more and more work for people with disabilities and also wounded veterans that we support that population.
Okay. Let me ask you this question that just came to my mind. Could we say that the number of disabilities increased due to the war? Is that
absolutely, absolutely. Okay. The population of wounded veterans coming home with sometimes obviously physical disabilities, but as well as PTSD and other intellectual and mental horrors that they've gone through is really difficult on the vets and the family of all the vets. And they're losing their confidence because they don't feel they can get back into the civilian world and get back to work, and they deserve the right to have good work. So one of the things Linden does is we work with the vets to assess their skill set, to help them with some training and help understand how their skills transfer from the military standpoint into the commercial standpoint so that we can help them talk to the employers and find opportunities for employment.
Okay. And the company exists since 55 years.
Yes, as a matter of fact, just this last month we celebrated a big celebration at Fort Myers Officers Club. We had a couple hundred people there, a number of our wounded vets, a number of our people with disabilities, companies that support and sponsor us, employers that hire our population, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful evening of celebration. It actually started 55 years ago by two parents that had children with disabilities, and they wanted to have some sort of resource for their children to actually have a chance to work and be part of a normal, regular lifestyle. So since I've been there, we've done a lot of wonderful things. We're having a lot of fun working with people with disabilities that want so badly to work and want so badly to be involved in society and contribute. Is just very, very rewarding for me, and I think everybody that's within the organization really appreciates what our mission is and trying to make sure that that happens. It's kind of ironic because I've been working all over the country doing different things, and then I got this opportunity for a temporary position, and I thought it would just be that. And it turns out I'm now working 4 blocks from where I grew up in Arlington, and my mother still lives there about 4 blocks away, and that's my stomping ground. So here I am, I've come kind of full circle back and feel very rewarded to be able to do this work.
Okay. How many people work at Linden Resources?
We've got about 400 people.
Oh, really?
We've got 400 people. We have 15 government contracts where we do things like mailroom services, contact center services, some custodial work, and then we have some commercial lines of business where we do secure document destruction, shredding, and we do printing. We do a lot of fulfillment right in our headquarters on 23rd Street in Arlington is where we're located. We have 60 people with more significant disabilities that do a lot of the assembly and the fulfillment and warehousing, And so when we do the printing, then they do the fulfillment work and we ship things out. And so we have a lot of clients that we do that type of work for as well.
Okay. Do you place the people or they all work under you?
Both. So we have especially the VETS program, it tends to be more of a direct placement. But we still have some vets working on our contracts. And then we have some companies that more and more prime contractors are allowing us to maybe have, if they have 50 people on their contract, maybe 5 or 6 Linden employees that will remain Linden employees, and we will be a sub to their prime contract. And so that's a very good opportunity for us to do that.
Okay.
I want to mention that, if I may, that October is National Disability Employee Awareness Month, so it's a very good opportune time to be invited to enjoy spending some time with you. And the whole idea is to get the word out, because the unemployment rate for people with disabilities is so much significantly higher.
How much? Do you have a number?
Yes. Okay. So in Northern Virginia, I think we're very well-off area here. The unemployment rate, the last I looked, was about 4.4%, national 5.9%, and the employment rate, not the unemployment rate, but the employment rate for people with disabilities is about 32%. So that tells you that these people are just not getting the opportunities to get the jobs that they need. And they're some of the best workers that I have ever seen. I mean, these people are dedicated, they work hard, they pay very good, careful attention to their quality and their services. And we close when the government.
Yeah, go ahead.
We close when the government closes, and the thing that I find is ironic is that people with disabilities don't want to be closed. The people without the disabilities are saying, "Okay, I hope the government closes so I can stay home for the day." It's just the opposite. They're knocking on the door saying, "I need to get to work. I have things to do." So it's a great group of folks, that really, really work hard and do great work for us, and we just need to get the word out more. One of my missions personally is, with being in the community for 55 years and doing such great work and having 400 employees, if I go talk to 20 people a day, 18 will say, "I've never heard of Linden." So this is a good opportunity, and I can appreciate that, to be able to get the word out for what Linden does, the services we provide, and the people that we serve.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that there's a misperception, a misunderstanding? Because I'm thinking when somebody says somebody with disability, they probably immediately think that the person will not be able to perform or be regular or be committed.
Right.
Well, maybe quote unquote a regular person. Would you say that is the case?
Yes, absolutely, and that's part of the challenge and one of the barriers that we work very hard to get across. People are often fearful of things they're not used to, and people they're not used to, and if people are a little different, instead of saying people with disabilities, sometimes I say people with different abilities, because a lot of these folks really have a lot of skill in areas that people that would be called regular people, would not normally have. And so our role is far beyond just getting a contract and putting people out there. We have what we call workforce specialists that are assigned to work with these various people with disabilities and make sure that they completely understand what the requirements of the job are, they're comfortable with it, even to the point of transportation, how they're going to get there, what the hours are. These workforce specialists work very carefully with the employers to make sure that they're completely satisfied at all times. And if we have to do any training or initial introduction of our workforce into their workforce to get them integrated comfortably so everybody's comfortable with it. And we have found that over and over again in almost every single case, it really works out so well because they learn to love the people. We have these contracts that have gone on for 25, 30, 35 years. And a lot of the folks are the same folks that have been there. We've had people working for Linden since the inception. We've got a 75-year-old man working with us right now that's been there since he was 20 out of high school. Wow. And he's just doing remarkably, and he's very happy, and he's proud of himself, and the employers love him. They're like, don't want him to retire, but at some point, everybody has to retire with or without a disability, right? So it's our challenge. No. It's our challenge to try to make sure that everything is set for the success of these folks before they get placed into their positions out there. So whatever needs to be done, and that's the work that we do when we start to talk to these companies and make sure they're comfortable with it. And I'm finding more and more people and more companies are, in this area, it's a lot of the large prime government contractors, obviously. They have special groups, huge groups within their organizations that deal specifically with diversity and people with disabilities, and they're really strong advocates, and they present throughout their organization that this is really a good mission to do, and this is a good thing to do. And to work with an organization such as Linden that has done this for so long is less risk for them. So they know that we will take assurances to make sure that everything goes well for their contract.
Gotcha. Okay.
So-
Is Linden only in this area here, or are you nationwide? Or?
So Linden is in Arlington and in Herndon, and we're part of a network called Source America, which is the largest network of an organization that hires people with disabilities. By being part of that network, we're one of their, I think, 1,200 nonprofits throughout the country. So they look for national opportunities, and then they give them out to the organizations that are local to handle it. So we do local work, but we have a national reach through the Source America program. And we have some pretty large contracts that are managed centrally by Source America to make sure all the nonprofits in all the different regional areas are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, that the delivery is uniform, that we're consistent with how we, serve the customer and the products and services that we apply. So we do a lot of work through Source America. We also do a lot of work that we find on our own contracts. So, and now we're really trying to get aggressive to grow. We've done very well for 55 years, and we have a new CEO that's come in a few years ago, and she's recognizing that in order to serve this mission of hiring more people with disabilities, we need to grow the business and get more opportunities. So we're doing a lot with partnering with other organizations on our own, doing some pretty aggressive business development to find out what opportunities are out there. And again, every time we talk to different organizations and they hear the Linden story, and they see the reports and the statistics of the excellent work that we do and the fact that we get these rave reviews from our clients of 30 years, they're opening a lot of doors up for us. So it's a very exciting time in Linden right now.
Very good, excellent. So now tell me, what is the future plan? You say you have a new CEO. They should recognize you to grow the company. It's got to get some other contract. What plan, what goals do Linden have?
Well, we have some very aggressive financial goals, and we also have, we measure our success based on number of placements. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last year we've placed about 100 veterans, wounded veterans, and that's pretty good for our first year and a half of working with the vets. And I have my own goals as far as new business development and growing the lines. We're very interested in growing our secure document shredding business because we have a 50,000 square foot facility right in Herndon where we have all the equipment and the staff, and so we're building that business, and that's very exciting for us. Just about any organization has confidential documents that need to be shredded, and we have gotten all the certifications and we're approved, and we do the highest level of secured document shredding, so there should be no worries about that. And again, we tour people, and we invite you and anybody who would like to come out and see our facility either in Herndon or visit our folks in Arlington. So the goal is, we're in the 5-year planning stage right now, so I don't have the exact what the goals are in terms of that goal. We just have our annual goals for this year. Our fiscal year started in July, so we're hitting the ground running pretty quickly with getting a lot of opportunities and moving along. One big goal is to find more prime contractors that would enjoy having Linden employees on the team. And along those lines, I think it's important to mention that the Rehabilitation Act, 503C section of the Rehabilitation Act was recently modified. That's the act within the Department of Labor that sets goals and objectives for people with disabilities to be on government contracts. And if you have a government contract over $50,000, which isn't really that big of a government contract, then you're required to comply with 503C of this particular act, affirmative act. And the act itself requires that you have an affirmative action plan and that you set goals towards increasing the number of people on your contract that are going to be people with disabilities. And one of the things they specifically call out is to find a good organization that is a nonprofit that hires people and places people with disabilities. So, that's why it's great for me to be able to tell our story now and say that here we are ready and willing and able to be on the contracts with you and support your mission and the federal agency's mission. So there's a lot going on in that area right now. The change is very good. I mean, this act was put in place by Congress in 1945, and some success has been seen, but recently with some of the more recent legislative changes, I think we're going to see a lot more effort now, because now these prime contractors, the large ones, are really going to have to prove to the Department of Labor that they have a strategic plan for increasing the number of people with disabilities on their contracts, and they'll be held accountable by the Department of Labor. So that's exciting for us.
Okay. Now, two questions I want to ask. Do you guys do also offer your services to commercial enterprise, private organizations?
Yes.
Okay. The second question is, would you know, you may or may not know, what is the percentage of the people with disability in the country? Do you know that?
In the country? I don't know that.
I'm just curious to see. I'm curious because I'm trying to get wraps my head around this all. That's why I'm asking that question.
Yeah, and again, with the wounded veterans coming home and the numbers that they are coming home,
I'm sure it's
and
increasing.
It's significantly
and I was just
increasing.
curious to see because I'm just trying to get the whole the complete picture of it. That's what I'm asking that question.
Right, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem. I have the answer necessarily. Now, tell us, you personally, what is your biggest success in life?
I think big success, well, first of all, my family. I have to say that. You know, if you're talking professionally, that's a different story, but I have a wonderful husband and four wonderful daughters. One just got married, and one's getting married next September.
Okay.
One's in Spain, and one's in GW University, so that's a wonderful experience for me. My mother is still, thank goodness, I mentioned she lives like 4 blocks from where I work. She's still healthy and doing well. And so I'm very blessed with all that. Professionally, I've had a very good career. I've had a very different type of career. I was not in nonprofit, and I certainly wasn't in working with people with disabilities. So I've had to quickly learn how to adapt to that and how to do my best work to most help the folks that need the help. So I started out in accounting, and I've just changed. You know, I've done a lot of different things over the years, and kind of built a couple successful businesses, and enjoyed doing that, and just enjoy traveling. You know, now we're going back and forth between business and personal, but I just really enjoy traveling. I enjoy traveling with my daughters and just going places and doing things and having a good time with them. And right now, I'm finding it very rewarding. You know, when you plan things a lot, sometimes they don't come out. You can try the hardest to make something happen exactly as you want it. And here, I never had any plans to be with Lyndon and to be doing this fabulous work. And so I just think it's very rewarding, and I'm very blessed to be able to do this. And I think it also sends a good example to my family too, to do good work for people and help people that need help, and not, as you say, you know, be fearful of them. I think everybody deserves a chance to show the good work that they can do and the good person that they are. And I think people need to embrace that a little bit more, because people don't always look the way we look or talk the way we talk or say or think what we say. But that's the people with different abilities, you know, not the same. If we're all the same, that'd be a little bit boring.
What would you consider, then thank you, what would you consider the biggest challenge?
Professionally, to get the word out and to get people to know about Lyndon, because I just believe that and I'm seeing it every day. I can't get enough of me out there and enough of my staff out there to get the word out of the good work we do and what a good organization we are. We're community-based. Just last Saturday, for example, so I said we do the shredding, right? And there's a lot of organization that does the shredding, but we really want to get some more opportunities in that area, because that really serves our people with disabilities. They stand at the machine and they go through and they separate things and they put the things through the shredding, and we, you know, it's just a great operation we have going out there. But to get the word out, so we had a shredding day, a free shredding day in our parking lot on Saturday, and the executives came out there with jeans and tennis shoes, and we collected all this from the community. And I mean, we must have had 100 people come to bring, you know, we passed flyers around all last week, and it was quite the turnout. And we had donations instead of charging. We just said donations, and we made some good money just by people saying, "You're doing good work. Thank you very much for what you do here, and thank you for the good work, and you know, thank you for doing the shredding here." So to get the word out, we do a lot of networking. That's how we got associated with you. You know, that's how we got associated with a lot of different organizations. Get the word out and tell the story, and they will come. And they are coming. You know, they're coming and saying, "We'd love to have you on our team." And I think that's going to be the best opportunity for us to do, is to try to build our shredding, our printing. Like I said, everybody needs to shred their confidential documents. Everybody needs printing. They need their annual reports, and they need business cards. We do all that, and all the folks that are down there are sending those things out, and very, very pleased to be able to contribute and feel good about themselves coming to work. So my challenge is to get the word out and get more contracts in. I walk in down there, and these folks will say, "Lisa, did you get a new contract for us today?" And so I feel really, you know, that I have a lot of responsibility to do my job well and get the word out and get more business in so these folks can, so we can hire more people. There's a lot of people that we have on our list that are looking for jobs, and as soon as we get more contracts, we keep on hiring more people. So challenging and rewarding at the same time, you know.
Gotcha.
But I jump up every morning knowing I have to go do it because they're counting on us, you know. So.
Now, you mentioned something, 1945, where a law or a bill was enacted.
Yeah, the Rehabilitation Act.
But why nothing has happened since then?
Well, there's been progress.
Oh, I mean, not that
there's been progress. There's been progress because it's kind of the forgotten population. I hate to say it that way, though, you know, because everybody's so busy doing their work and they're jumping up and going and doing, and the government contractors can do the work without people with disabilities, and they don't have to have that worry of, will it work, will it not work? There was the fear of it, you know, and there wasn't enough education, there wasn't enough information to say, this is a very important thing in this country, we need to take better care of this population, and we need to care for them and help them and give them work, and not give it to them as a charity or as pity, but just they deserve it, and they're good at it, and they can do a great job.
The point of it is a performance.
Yeah.
I guess Linden and other people has to prove they can perform. If they can perform, then they just take them on.
Well, we have for example, just for one example, Patent and Trademark Office, we have a contract where every week we send out about 6,000 people apply for patents, and you have to send out a big stack of stuff. There's all these papers that have to go with it. They have to be in the exact order. They're sequential. They're very complicated. They're hard to look at. If you and I sat down, we'd probably want to do it for about 10 minutes and then say, that's enough of this, because it's tedious and it takes a lot of focus. We've been doing that for, I think, maybe 10 years now. With 100% quality, we have not had one error in that package going out. And so that's because these folks just pay so much care to detail. And so, and there might be somebody else that would not be necessarily good at that job. And it is our role, and we do a very good job of it, to make sure we match up what the skill set is with what's required before we put anybody out anywhere, right? We do role studies and we do things back in the office and see if you're a match for this type of work. If you're not, we'll find the job that would be best for you. Gotcha. And so we can't have any risk of any employer ever not being pleased with our work, or we could defeat our whole purpose. It has to be really proven and really good, and it is. And so all of that takes effort on our part, but that's part of what we do. And you know, we can't lose our reputation because we make mistakes or send the wrong people out. So I have to say that all our operations folks that work back at the office and work out on the contracts work very, very hard to make sure. I feel like I'm out there telling the story so that we can get the opportunity, but I couldn't do it if I didn't have the operations folks right behind me, and I knew that they would be delivering every time, because otherwise nobody would believe me anymore. You know, it's like I wouldn't be able to get very far. So we work very close together, and I think it's a different kind of mentality than I've seen in the for-profit world. It's really a family. It really is. I know a lot of organizations like to say that, but I really feel like it's an organization that they have each other. We have each other's backs, right? We're not. I don't want you to feel. You don't want me to make a mistake. You do care if I make a mistake. If you start to see that I'm getting ready to make a mistake, you're going to catch me and tell me so that we don't make mistakes. Gotcha. And so I really feel like, you know, you're safe to do your job because everybody's trying to help each other do their job the best we possibly can. Because we have this mission. It's not about us. It's about these people that we need to get working more.
Okay.
So,
how many people do you have online waiting to get a job? Do you have any idea?
We have a pool of vets. I would say we don't hire the people until we find the opportunity. Sure. So probably hundreds. That we keep right there, and we keep working with them and try. And before we even hire them or find the job for them, we're doing the skills assessment and we're doing the training, and we're trying to make sure that we really know what they can do and so forth. And then we're out there trying to find these opportunities, and then we find the opportunities and we go back to who's in the pool, so to speak, and
Gotcha.
put the team together that we think is going to be best for that. Put the best supervisor on that team based on what the statement of work is for the.
And the supervisor is also somebody's ability? Or?
Not usually. Not usually. Like on the government contracts, we have a program manager and a supervisor or two, depending on the size of it. They do not have disabilities. They're there to make sure the success of the rest of their staff. The staff has the people with the disabilities.
Gotcha.
And then in the commercial world, when we do the printing, the manager of the printing and the director of the printing operations, they do not have disabilities, but they work with all the folks and make sure that everything is done according to the customer requirements and everybody's happy. And we do a lot of surveys, of our customers. I don't know if you've heard of ISO 9000. We're just in the middle of getting our ISO 9000 certification, which will indicate the high level of quality that we do deliver and have delivered, and a number of other certifications from independent organizations that come out and audit us to make sure, financially, operationally, we have all our ducks in a row, so to speak, to make sure that. So that helps us.
Government contracting, that makes sense.
Yes, you have to have all that, exactly.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Well, you can see Lisa's information over here on the screen, as well as the website. So visit the website to learn more about it. I also want to let you know that they will be exhibiting at our expo coming up on November 14th.
Absolutely.
So come over there, get a chance to meet her and her crew to learn more about them. And definitely support the organization. As she says, probably the forgotten population, people with disabilities. And maybe what we have to do is just confront the fact that they are just human beings for whom something happens, so that's why they are who they are. But many of them still have their abilities, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, to do any job for that matter. So support them, learn about the website, and why not come out and meet them at the expo?
Absolutely. Love to meet as many people as I can.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Well, I'm glad you tuned in. So check our website on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. and also on Wednesday after midnight, Saturday at 2 o'clock. Check our website. We're looking forward to having you join us. Have a productive day and also a very good night for that matter. And I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.
This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.